All right, cool, man. Thanks for showing up. I think this is gonna be my first time, so hey, if you're there, you're there. If you're not, I'm okay with that. But stuff I'm interested about. I'm kind of interested about solar. Um, Solar makes me super fascinated in what's going on, and I just really like the ideas of it. Not necessarily everything. I'm not all about Greenpeace and all that good stuff, but you know, I do like a good amount of solar. So, hmm, Facebook being up. Oh, it says it's starting. Why does it take so long to start? Facebook. What the fuck? All about the drama, man. You know what I mean? Let me figure this out real quick. Claims it's online. All right. So it's so it's actually online. Okay. Cool. Hmm. No, I ain't gonna sound. So now I gotta test my sound because I'm a dipshit and I don't know anything. Okay. All right, so I got sound. That's freaking out for nothing. Hate that when that happens. So, because I'm late getting rolling here, uh, let's go ahead and get started. I'm 5 minutes in, nothing to do here, so I'm okay with that. So, what I think is super, super interesting about solar is the messed up part is I could just sit here for an hour. That would be messed up. Okay, let's get this rolling. So, what I find is super, super interesting about solar is that you can take and get electricity from just the sun. I mean, some people might go, wow, that's really not that impressive. But the what it takes for that to happen, I just find super fascinating. Um, I don't know exactly how it works. I might be kind of stupid like that, but I'm okay with not knowing everything. Um, but it's gotten with the ways that you do things now. It it's gotten absolutely crazy, crazy easy on how to do it. Um, so it used to be that you'd have to have a whole bunch of lead acid batteries, and you'd have to have a whole bunch, of all these different components. You'd have to have, the solar panels, of course, and you know, set up all crazy, and then you'd have to have, um, a special charger to charge your batteries, and they weren't that efficient. And then after that, then you'd have to have a special inverter, they'd pull from the batteries to the house or whatever you want to charge. Um, but now it's gotten so easy. So so very old type batteries. Um, I mean, if you think about it, they have batteries that have been running since the 1890s or 1850s in New York City on subways. They have some really old batteries that they've taken out, but they still actually work. And that chemistry they really didn't go back to again that style because they're just so damn heavy. But then you have lead acid, you have AMG, you have lithium, and you have lithium iron phosphates. Which lithium iron phosphates are really kind of cool because they last so much longer. Or for instance, a 100 amp lead acid battery, you're going to get, you can't run it but 50% down, or else you really damage the battery a lot. You can't run it, you know, crazy like that. But the cool thing about it is with some of the other battery technologies like lithium iron phosphate, the lipophores or however they call them, you can get like 2,000 charges out of that, and you can drain them clear down to like 20%, or in some cases all the way down without. You might shorten its lifespan, but then you can charge it right back up again. And where lithium iron phosphate batteries, they might be a little bit expensive, But the thing with them are, is you can get in between. It depends on the battery and how they're advertised. Some say 10,000 recharge, some of them say 2,000 recharges, but not all of them, you know, are like that. There's some of them that are just a few charges you can get out of it. So that's me rambling on, but I'm okay with that. Um, and they're actually not bad priced. I mean, you think about what do they can consider a 5.2 kilowatt, um, which is a 100 amp hour battery, but you could hook it up to your house and run your refrigerator for days on that, and that's the coolest part about it is, let's take a look at what some of the newer ones kind of look like. Um, one of my one of the coolest ones that I just saw is this one here. Oh, and of course, nothing's responding. Oh, too funny. That's the best. This is when you want stuff like this to happen. Great, my live stream's probably all locked up and everything. That's okay though. I'm totally all right with it. We'll let it work through the technical difficulties real quick because nothing is responding. It's totally hating this whole idea of all this. But now they have some that are really cool and they're rack mounted. And the interesting thing I like about that is the footprint that it leaves for your solar inside your house. Um, you don't have to worry as much about fumes and things like that because they really don't off gas like lead acid batteries do. So it's super, super interesting. Let me shut a couple things down here. It's super interesting. So this is super embarrassing. Looks like my computer took a big poop. I love it. I don't know whether to call this a little minor success or a great big frickin' fail, but some things are still working in broadcasting. So as long as they're still working, I'm going to keep going. I know I didn't. I know it wasn't that I got so many people on there that that crashed. 'Cause I'm fairly confident that didn't happen because I don't think I had anybody on there. Hmm. Okay. Well, that was really super weird, man. Everything just kind of stopped, but I think I got it back up and running now. How super crazy. Yeah, that was bizarre. Okay, now we're 15 minutes in. Let's go ahead and see if I can get this to work now. Um, so this is kind of cool. Um, I think for the price. It's really kind of interesting. It's like this one here. It says it has a 4,000 cycle life, which that's huge. But look at the discharge on this thing. That's crazy. And let's say you had 5 of these stacked up together. That's just totally bizarre. I mean, look how smart it is. And these right here hook up to your all-in-one inverter chargers. You know, so I just think they look really kind of cool. I'm kind of just super super fascinated by them. Um, and the price, that's not bad either. Um, let's take a look at another one I kind of dig. This was this was my favorite one. Um, Before I realized anything about them, they're really kind of cool. And the reason I think that they're really kind of cool is because just the architecture of them. You know, they do quite a bit. You know, look at that overcharged current. That's just crazy. Now I don't know a lot about them, but I find that's fascinating. If anything else, it it just leaves me all interested in it. But I'm okay with it. Um, so it's a little bit on batteries. The other thing that has come just so crazy long way has been the solar panels. The solar panels are nuts for what you can buy solar panels for now. It's crazy. Um, you can get some decent solar panels really pretty cheap. Here's a Let's go take a look at one of them that where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? These are just some just pretty decent budget ones. They're 250 watt, you know, and if you buy them by the pallet, I think you get a better price on them too. But 250 watt for $58. If you're just like wanting to dip your fingers into the whole solar thing, um, you want to learn a little bit about it, buy 5 of these. It's not that expensive. The overall on the battery, the battery's going to be your biggest price, and then you got to have to pay some stupid tax on there because you're going to make some mistakes. It's going to happen. Just study well, and I didn't get the permission for it, but there was a couple web pages that I wanted to share their web page and share who they were, because they do so much work with solar stuff. It's fantastic. Great resource for knowledge. I don't particularly know nothing. I'm just, you know, just repeating, regurgitating what I learned. Um, 140 bucks, you know, 405 watt. If it does 90% of that, that's great money. You know, it's just, it's just what they've done with it it's pretty darn impressive. Um, just where it's gone. Now, there's another style of solar panel that's that has blown my mind ever since I seen it come out, and it's called a bifacial. Now, the cool thing about a bifacial, there is a front and there is a back. Okay, well, right now these are $189 as we're looking at them. But the thing about the bifacial is the cool thing is, so let's say like in the wintertime, you have the light shining on the solar panel, which that's pretty cool. There's nothing ironic or crazy or out of control about that. But the super cool part of it is it also will pick up charge from reflections off the back of it. It's like if there's snow on the ground and the snow is and the light is being reflected around off of other things, it'll pick it up on the back of the panel and you'll pick up some extra charge from the back side of the panel. It's totally wild. Um, it just blows my mind when thinking about it. Um, I don't, I don't even know what to think about it, but I mean, it's just the technologies have come a long ways, and since the advent of um, all the newer technologies and things along those lines, you now have what are all-in-ones. I'm not sure exactly what they call them. I sometimes have a hard time searching for them. But there's a couple prolific, prolific. Anyway, there's a couple of companies out there that are making them, and they do a really, really good job because instead of having all these different pieces of hardware, it's all in one piece of hardware. You want to hook up a camper, because a buddy of mine, we talk about this all the time. You want to hook up a camper or something along those lines. You can literally take the battery, lithium ion 4 battery that I showed you, and you get some wires and you run it to one of these all-in-one units and hook solar panels up to it. And then you take for the AC in, you just use what comes off of your plug-in for the outside of your camper. Throw some bifacials on top of it because it'll reflect a little bit from underneath as you're going down the road and everything else. Bob's your uncle, man. You have that quick. You have an off-grid RV. Bam. And you're not talking about $30,000, $40,000. What? One battery is what, $1,500, and then you have the inverter, which is $700 or $800. The bifacial solar panels, what, they're 405 watts. Grab 3 of those, or grab 4 of them, because that puts you way over 1K a charge. Run it all into this all-in-one, you're done. And then if you do some creative things like they have, you could put a 12-volt side on it. You could put if it's powering your camper anyway, it's going to have a 12-volt side. But then you can do things to help yourself out, like put a 12-volt air conditioner in it. They have these little small compressor, 12-volt compressor AC systems. I think they're like $2,800 or something. But they totally blow everything else out of the water. On that setup, you could basically run just off of solar panels. You could run your air conditioner for probably, with no sun on the 12-volt side, probably easily run it 24 hours. And that's really saying something. I mean, because if you think about it, most of the systems on a camper, they're kind of lightweight anyway. Some of them are. But that's crazy, because if you had the normal, 1,500 or 15,000 or 3,000 or 28,000 BTU air conditioners, you're going to be pulling a lot of amperage at 110. You may be able to run that AC on that one battery for a few hours, but not a lot. But if you switch over to the 12 volt, bam, you're running it a lot longer. Fairly impressive. So I really kind of enjoy it. I think it's fascinating. Um, but no real data or information. Blah, 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 blah. Damn it. I lost my train of thought. Dang it. What the hell was I saying? I totally lost my train of thought. Oh, well. It's all right. So much to lie. I've got to be able to bounce back. It's just super interesting what you can do with solar. I think later on I'm going to go ahead and take a look at, maybe doing a solar project myself. Now, these all-in-one inverter chargers that I was talking about, this is just an example of one. I'm not saying this is the one to go buy or anything like that, but I just find them, again, I find them interesting, 240, 8 kilowatts, when paralleled. That's $1,500. That's literally two of these. You know what? $3,000. You run your house on it. You run your house on it. I mean, and then you run it off those 48-volt batteries. You get, a stack of those. It's just stupid. It's just impressive, just impressive. But I thought they had some pictures of some. That was the other site that I wanted to show you, that I didn't get permission for. If there's anything cool in here. Nothing super informative. Wait. There you go. So you have it, and then everything plugs up to it. And you can even put like a generator switch on it, where if you've had like cloudy weather for a few days and you still need to charge up your batteries, you just run a generator to it and you call it. It gets low, it'll kick on. Or you can actually put it into your utilities, and when and have it, say, pull from my batteries first, and then, after that. But when your batteries get low and they need to be recharged, it'll kick it over. You can either kick it over to the AC, your like regular utility, or you can actually tell it to make a call, and it'll send a start command to a generator and start up and start charging your batteries, and then there you go again. So it's just super, super, super fascinating. I really like the ideas of it. Well, I was going to do an hour stream, but I ran out of things to talk about. But that's just the stuff that I found interesting today. So I think I'm just going to call it for right now. This was a good test. I'd like to say I think it turned out well, unless the whole time, I had like no volume or something like that. That would have just been terrible. It'd have been awful. But yeah, so we're just going to call it and just have an awesome day. So for you, like 4 of you, for those that come back and you guys are watching this and not necessarily get something out of it, but found it something was interested in it. Thank you very much for checking it out. But I think I'm gonna call it. Um, all right, y'all have a good one. Share this around so everybody gets a good giggle, because I know I'm gonna laugh about it later. Thanks a lot. Bye. Wow, I really had this on lockdown, didn't I? Again, we'll try it one more time. Thanks a lot. You guys have a great evening.